So I wanted to do a demo here of the core temperature of my AMD FX-8320 8-core processor. And the reason why I'm doing this is there seems to be a lot of concern on the internet over, how hot is hot with a AMD FX processor. So right now, I downloaded a bunch of freeware, Prime 95, which stresses out the CPU. And I've been running this for around 3 hours, and it's reached a maximum of 60 degrees Celsius. And the idle, well, not really idle, but the temperature I started with was 19 degrees Celsius. So the freeware that I downloaded was Prime 95, which calculates a bunch of prime numbers. And as you can see, it stresses out the CPU 100%. So actually, I'm gonna cancel all of the tests. This was actually a torture test here, but I'm actually gonna stop all the tests and show you how fast the temperature actually drops. So you see it was 59, 56. Now it totally drops straight down, in the 40s, and it'll probably drop to the 20s in no time. So what I'm using here is Core Temp freeware again and CPU hardware monitor, and you'll see here's where the temperature is, and they both pretty much agree with each other, both independent programs, within 1 degree Celsius. And I have here the HW in hardware info, which actually shows you kind of my setup, which is a Gigabyte 970A-D3P motherboard, which is not a high-end motherboard. It's like a mid-range motherboard I got on Newegg for $75. And I am using simply the stock fan. So my concern, and the reason why I'm doing this video, was I was really concerned about the kind of stock fan, whether it'll hold up during stress. And I was really concerned that my 8-core CPU would actually melt down, because I didn't buy the $30 kind of high-end fan for this processor. But it actually turns out not to be true, because during normal use, when I'm surfing the web, or when I'm doing some simplistic video editing, it really only gets to 30 degrees Celsius. And the recommendation on the AMD site is that don't let it get above 62 degrees Celsius. However, there's a bunch of people on the internet who have overclocked this to up to 68 and 70 degrees Celsius, which in my mind is not really worth the risk of the instability of the system for that extra boost in performance, especially when you think about what you're doing with your computer is you don't want any data loss, or your computer to freeze or reboot all of a sudden because of heat. You really want your system to be predictable and stable. That's the main primary importance of a system, is stability. Not necessarily that small added performance that you're never going to use anyway, or it might save you 30 seconds in video editing or whatever. So as you can see, it's dropping down to the 20s pretty quickly, like within minutes. And I'm going to crank it back up again later on. But I did want to just show you kind of the software that I'm using to test this, and I am posting kind of the links to the software, so check out the description section. But again, I am just using the stock fan, and when it drops back down a little bit more, I am actually going to crank it back up again. As you could see here, my CPU now went from all 8 cores here at 100% to simply 10-12%. And again, I wanted to mention the average temperature that my CPU runs in is about 25 degrees Celsius when I'm doing normal stuff like surfing the web, watching like a movie or whatever. I have cranked it all the way up to 61 degrees Celsius by using this Prime 95 program, and on top of that, stressing it out with HD video conversion, like 2 of those programs running simultaneously along with this torture test here. So it is interesting in that way that even under that load, that it still doesn't hit kind of the 62 degrees, which is the danger zone. So, all right, let me kick it off now, and you'll see how fast the temperature jumps up. I'm selecting torture test here, and I'm going to do, as you can see, max heat power consumption and some RAM tested. So, and within seconds, it'll crank all the way up to 59 degrees Celsius. And you could see in the task manager here, the cores are hitting 100% now. There goes 51 degrees, 52, and you could see in this one it says it's 52 also. And you could hear in the background the CPU fan is cranking up in RPMs as reported here. And it's going to hit 5,000. The max was 5625. So you could see it's already at 56 degrees Celsius, 57 now. But yeah, I mean that's really it. I kind of just wanted to show you how to test it, and just to alleviate some of your concerns you've had if you bought an AMD FX processor and you didn't want to drop $30 for the fan, or you were wondering whether it was really necessary or whether the stock fan was enough. Well, for me, the stock fan was enough, and everything seems fine with the stock fan. I've been running this for 3 to 16 hours for over 3 weeks or so, and the system has been very stable. So, all right, hope this helps. Thank you.